Spoonie Space. We are a live web, sorry, we are a live, sorry, I have bad brain fog today. We are a um, web talk show by Spoonies for Spoonies. What is a Spoonie, you say? Well, a Spoonie is someone who is chronically ill, chronically in pain, or mentally ill, and these things affect daily life and everything you do. Spoonie Space is part of the Spoonies for Life community. We are on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, a Facebook closed group forum, and we also have the YouTube page. Let's see. Today I'm going to introduce myself and my fellow panelists. We're going to be talking about Spoonie hacks, tips and tricks to save those spoons. But first, I, Lois, am a Spoonie. I am 31 years old. Fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, and gastroparesis are what make me a Spoonie. I'm going to go ahead and pass this off to Dina and let her introduce herself now.
Hi, I'm Dina, and I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, digestive disease, POTS, and a bunch of other things that make me a Spoonie. And I will hand it over to Kate.
Hello, I'm Kate. I'm 26, and what makes me a Spoonie are hydrocephalus, Dandy Walker syndrome, and benign intracranial hypertension. Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm 32. I have fibromyalgia, depression, anxiety. Natalie?
Hi, my name is Natalie, and I'm 33 years old. I have fibromyalgia and Hashimoto's disease, and probably a whole bunch of other undiagnosed autoimmune diseases. We're trying to figure out what it is. That made me Spoonie. My most debilitating symptom is fatigue. I'm very fatigued today and very thick in brain fog. So bear with me if I can't find my words. Kathy, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Catherine, and I'm 54 years old. I have fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, bipolar, manic depressive, and a bunch of other acronyms that are hard to explain. That's what makes me a Spoonie. So I'll pass this on to Tina.
Actually, I'll go ahead and take it. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everyone, for introducing yourselves. I just want to say that we are very happy to have everyone here. And so I'm going to go ahead and go into our comments. Also, we greatly appreciate everybody who took the time to read our posts and comment and help us out with our show. So the first comment comes from Karen. Karen says, I have found having an old-style planner with paper and pen essential for remembering things. Putting it in my phone didn't make it stick in my mind, but I am less likely to forget things when I write it down. I also use the breathing tricks taught in Lamaze classes when my pain is really getting the best of me. I think that's a very good thing to do with the breathing. And we have a second person who comments about breathing. Sephora says, breathing. Take a breath, hold. Take another breath, hold. Keep doing this until you can't take in any more air. The lungs will be packed. Hold your breath until you feel the burn. Exhale slow and long. Try it. It's hard at first, but makes a huge difference. Yoga Asana. I think that is a very, very important tip and trick when dealing with pain. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Dina. Dina, what are your tips and tricks in regards to pain?
I help people with a lot of different tricks with pain because, well, what I do. I like the ideas that the people said with breathing. That's important. A lot of people like control and release with tightening and releasing different muscle groups, starting at the toes and working the whole way up. That works really well for a lot of people. You tighten your toes, and then you tighten your calves, and you work your way all the way up your body. And you tighten, 5 seconds, release all the way up. It's a way to give a controlled stimulus and release to your body, and it distracts from the things that are going haywire. And that can help some people. I help people with a lot of guided visualization because it helps get you out of the pain. I like using a big red beach ball, and you put all of your pain in the big red beach ball, and you send it out to sea, or you burn it up, or you get rid of it. However works best for you. You visualize putting all your pain in that ball, and you get rid of it. And it takes a long time to get good at it, but I've seen it help for people with a lot of different kinds of pain, be it nerve pain, physical pain. It can help take the edge off. Back to you.
I really like those visualization techniques and the breathing as well. I think that is when you're at your limit of pain meds and you're at your limit of everything you've tried and you just feel like you're going to lose your mind at that point. I think that's a really good thing. Does anyone else have any tips or tricks for when you've reached your limit on your pain meds? No one? Okay. One of my other tricks I use is a hot bath with Epsom salts. It soothes your muscles, kind of helps them relax, and the heat seeps in and kind of helps you relax a little bit. Even though it might not get rid of the pain, you can at least kind of relax a little bit if you can tolerate the warm water. Okay, so we'll go to our next comment then. Let's see. Dawn says, does anyone have some shortcuts on cooking healthy? As I am not tolerating food well either. I work full-time in a demanding and stressful job, doing contracts for making jet engines, and all has to be 100% correct. So my spoons are gone by half the day. I think a lot of us probably have some pretty good tips on saving spoons with cooking. The few I use, if you can sit down while you're cooking, that helps. If you can buy, I hate to buy prepackaged things with preservatives, but if you can find fresh things that are already cut up for you, my crock pot is a time saver. I look at a lot of crock pot recipes and casserole recipes. Things are quick, easy to make, and easy cleanup are what I always look for. Natalie, do you have anything on that?
Yes, I do actually, because I have changed my diet drastically in the last, let's say, 6 months. And my biggest problem is that I'm now cooking all the time because I cannot have anything prepackaged. I have to make everything fresh and from scratch, so I know exactly what's in. So what I do, I go with my dish, my significant other, to the ecological market on Saturday morning. I know exactly which 3 stands to get my fruits and veggies. So I try to go early in the morning so we can park closest and it's not so busy yet. And I already know what I want to get, so I can go there, buy it, get in and out, go home straight away. If I have spoons left, I will prepare my food, and otherwise I will do that the next day. And I batch cook. So I have this one thing where I have pumpkin and sweet potato. I just make this humongous pot. A whole squash and a whole sweet potato go in. And I just put it on. I boil it for about 20-30 minutes until it's a mush. So I don't have to stay there, it just boils, and then I mix it all together, and I have my squash for the whole week. It's like six portions that I make with that. today I got to pick up my ecological chicken. I live on a very small island, so I can't just go to the store and buy stuff. I have to pre-order, and then it gets delivered, and then I can get it. So I picked up my chicken today, and then we'll go into the oven tomorrow. I'm just going to shove it in the oven, leave it there like low for 3.5 hours, and I set an alarm because I will totally forget my chicken is in the oven. So I will set an alarm, hear my alarm, and think, what did I need to remember? That's one of the tricks I use all throughout my day. I set alarms. If the alarm goes off, I will think I needed to remember something, and then I go kind of like searching for what I needed to remember. But anyway, it works for me. So for cooking, to me, it's batch cooking. As soon as I feel a little bit okay, I will use as many spoons as I have to batch cook, and I will freeze everything. So last week I had my 2 kilos of minced beef delivered. Minced beef, I'm sorry. And I will prepare it all of it. 2 kilograms of minced beef I will prepare with my herbs and everything. I let it cool, and now I have 2 kilograms of minced meat all prepared in the freezer. And now I just defrost it when I want to eat it. So when I really sit down and have a meal, because I have to cook for myself 4 times a day, which is impossible if you're Spoonie, I just grab stuff, throw it together, because I pack everything separately. I have the chicken, I have the meat, I have my broth, so I can make it into quick and easy recipes. So, well, I can go on forever because this is my whole day basically, but those are the biggest things. So does anyone else have something to say about recipes? We'll give it back to Lois.
Okay. Welcome, Elise. We're glad you finally made it. Do you have anything to add about cooking tips for saving spoons?
I just try to go simple as possible. When I do it, I might do all the ground beef at the same time, but then I'll pick a couple recipes. Maybe I'll put some in the spaghetti sauce, some into a meatloaf. Just kind of do it whenever. I try to have someone come over and help so that it can just all get done in a couple hours instead of being days and days and days long practice, because I work about 45 hours a week, so my time is very precious when I do have to meal prep.
Okay, I'll take it from there. All right, we will go to our next comment, which is from, I believe, Mary Lynn. Just got to pull it up. Mary Lynn says she's got a lot of tips here that are actually pretty handy. Clean only one room at a time and clean it over time. Clean a little, rest a little, clean a little, rest a little. Everything that doesn't belong in that room goes to one central room. At the end of the cleaning, when the rooms are done, I do the central room last and then put away everything that was in the wrong room into the right room, in the right place. Cleaning bucket with the supplies I need. Just got to pause for a second. I think someone is not muted. Just a technical difficulty. Elise, do you have yours muted?
I don't think so, but there's no one around here right now.
No, you just got to mute while one of us are talking.
How do I mute?
Up at the top of your screen.
All right, I got it.
Okay. Sorry about that. Sometimes there's technical difficulties when you have a new show. Okay, so where was I? Let's see. She then says, the cleaning bucket with the supplies I need for the type of room I am cleaning so that I don't have to go back and forth once I'm in the room I have what I need to clean. I also invest in things that make it easier to clean, like the Swiffer duster, Swiffer sweepers, etc. I know finances don't allow that for everyone, but if they do, it is a lot easier than spraying. She puts all bills due on one calendar by date due, pay bills every Sunday that are due that week. She puts all bills in chronological order as they come in with the checkbook. It saves Spoons not having to run around looking for them all. She balances her checkbook once a week and pays as many electronically as she can to save stamp money. She saves emotional spoons by being on top of finances, and if she does have fiber clog and screws something up, she can catch it the next week as opposed to the next month. She also keeps a consistent bedtime, and so her body knows what to expect, and she may not always fall asleep or stay asleep, but she tries to at least. That is definitely important, getting sleep, and those are great tips on how to save some spoons. I want to try to stay kind of on topic and stick to one specific thing. So let's go to tips you use in the bathroom. For instance, I use waterless shampoo. It's just a powder that you can use. You can get it at beauty salons, stores, everywhere, in every range of price. It's nice to use, so you don't have to, if you just can't shower that day, but you don't want your hair feeling greasy and gross, that helps. I also sit down and I use a little mirror like this to put makeup on instead of standing. I also sit to do my hair, and sitting in the shower also helps. If you have a shower chair or you can sit down with a handheld nozzle, that helps a lot too. Kate, what do you have in terms of tips and tricks in the bathroom?
I would definitely agree with the shower chair. It's my best friend on my bad days. I bought, because of my balance is horrible, I bought one of those suction cup grab bars. And I use that to stabilize me as I'm stepping into and out of the tub. I actually brush my teeth in the shower, outside of the shower, and brush my teeth to save a few extra spoons. I mean, the water's already on and whatnot. That's about it that hasn't been mentioned already. Dina, do you have anything?
The only thing I would add would be like these little things, the little grippies are great for getting things open. I know a lot of us, Lois with your RA, myself, we don't have good grips. This is a freebie from an assistance center. I don't know where this one came from. And this big one is actually a hunk of what's called a delsum. But you can cut them and they're sticky to help you get things open. I use them in the bathroom to help get my little bottles open because I can't actually get my hands around little bottles to get them open. And I also use them in the kitchen as well. So these are like my best friends because jars are just not my friends at all. Lois?
Those are awesome. I use those as well. I also use a pill container, like a weekly pill container, so that I only have to open those pill bottles once a week. I think they might even make bigger ones that are like 2 weeks even, or there's like the night and day ones that you could make week 1 and week 2, and then you'd only have to do it every 2 weeks. So there's little things like that that you should definitely be looking for to help you in all the areas of your life that you need to. We have one more comment. Nope, I guess we don't. That was it. Okay, so the other areas of saving spoons in the home. Let's see. We've kind of gone over the kitchen a little bit, the living room. Let's see. There are grabbers that you can buy to pick things up if you are not able to bend over and pick things up. But I think the very, 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 very most important thing we should remember as Spoonies when we need to save spoons in our day, ask for help. It is the one thing that we don't do. We don't like asking for help. We want to be as independent as we possibly can, and unfortunately that will cost us spoons. So try to think of how you're going to feel tomorrow, because we all know if you push through and you use those spoons that you don't really have, you're going to really pay for it tomorrow. So that's my big piece of advice. Mark, what do you have?
Well, yeah, that's definitely something I'm guilty of, is that, and I'm trying to combat that with planned rests, where, you have a bunch of stuff to do. Mary, the comment, had, said a lot of that, do some, rest some, and I find that works out really well. I also find I get things completed more often when I focus on one task at a time. So get one task done, over with, it's done, checked off the list, whatever, and then move on to the next, instead of trying to do 4 things at once and never completing any of them. So, and then she mentioned sleep too. She stole my thunder. But I would also say use your accommodation aids as you need them, around the house even. Use your cane if you have to. If you're in colder weather and you use a cane, get yourself an ice pick. These will save you many spoons because you're not picking yourself off the ground. So that would be, huge device there. And then for male spoons, when you're not shaving daily, that does save as well. I found that is a task that is very draining in spoons, and not only do I not have the pain from shaving amplified with fibromyalgia to deal with anymore, but I don't have to expend the energy either. But that's, a pretty male Spoonie specific thing. How about back to you, Lois?
And thank you, Mark. In terms of assistive devices, I think it's important to remember to use them, especially younger spoonies. It seems like the younger we are, the more resistant we are to using them, because we just don't feel like we should be old enough to be using these devices. But they save spoons. That wheelchair saves spoons. That wheelchair lets you have more life and do more than you ever could anyway. So use it. Use it and enjoy life in it. Don't be ashamed. Be proud. Be proud of who you are and live your life and enjoy it. Let's see. Dina, what else do you have in terms of assistive devices?
Oh, I have a little pile of things over here. So, so talking about people with hand needs, if you still can write, most people think about fat pens first, because everybody knows about fat pens. But I don't know how many people know about Penigans. It's what it looks like. It looks like a little pair of pliers. They're ergonomically correct. You hold it like this.
Did we lose her?
It's much better for people with carpal tunnel. Have a laser, but they come with an ink in them. They come with 2 extras, and usually they do actually come with a stylus. And they're a lifesaver. If you have to write, they're awesome. I also, for those that have to use a can opener and they can't afford an electric can opener, Pampered Chefs on the top can opener, somebody gave this to me years ago, is a lot less painful than your usual side one. I don't know why, but it is. They're simple hacks. Assistive tech doesn't have to look like assistive tech. People think it has to be fancy and expensive. It doesn't. Something as simple as a can opener that's on the top that doesn't crank your wrist sideways can save you a lot of spoons. So Those are just a couple of things.
Thank you, Dina.
Yep.
Does anyone else have anything to add to that? Okay, I do have a couple extra things to add to that. For those people that, right now my rheumatoid arthritis is not very bad. However, my poor grandmother, before she passed away, was very crippled, kind of like this in her hands. They now, I want to say, not probably in her time, but maybe about 20 or so years ago, maybe even longer, they make plates that have a lip kind of on the edge of them. And then they also make forks and spoons and knives that are easy to hold, kind of like the child's one, but not as small. And it makes it so that you can still feed yourself and scoop your stuff up onto your spoon and your fork without making a mess all over the place. And so I highly recommend getting that so that eating is not a frustration for you. I also recommend looking, I know there's special toothbrushes out there now to make even brushing your teeth easier. It has like bristles on both sides, and so you just are automatically brushing both sides of your teeth exactly where you need to get it all at once. And it might seem silly, but believe it or not, you got to save spoons everywhere you can. I calculate my energy every day when I walk up. I literally calculate how many steps to whichever room I'm going in. Maybe one room is closer to get to, like one of the bathrooms. And so you just got to keep looking through your day to find those ways to save spoons. Natalie, what other ways do you use to save spoons?
I have several different things. One that Mary mentioned in the comments, I do as well. So keep the cleaning supplies of that specific room in that room. So in the kitchen, I will have my biggest batch of cleaning supplies. But in the bathroom, I will have my cleaning supplies for the bathroom because my kitchen and my bathroom are on opposite sides of the house. So I have to walk about 10 meters or 12 meters, I don't know how long it is, to get there. And yeah, that really saves me time. So when I'm in the bathroom and I'm using it one way or another and I see it's getting dirty, I can just clean right there and then. It's not planned. It's just when I think, oh, I'm feeling okay now, so I will take this little batch of energy and clean the bathroom right now. So that saves me a lot of time in walking back and forth or, you know, thinking about that I have to do that. Well, the other thing I mentioned was setting the alarms, but I'm a big fan of Post-it notes. They're like everywhere because I forget stuff. But Post-it notes, they fall off. It's bad for the environment to use so much paper. So about a year ago, I invested in 3 ginormous whiteboards. I'm sitting in my office right now, and I have 3 very, very big whiteboards for 3 different types of things that I need to remember, and I write everything down on my whiteboards. So I can forget. I'm very busy, busy in my mind mostly. My mind wants to do like 20 times more than my body is able to handle. And with running this community, trying to grow the community, also running my consulting business because I have to make money as well. So running my consultancy business and just my normal administration that I have to keep, you know, the papers I need to file, the bills I need to pay, it's all just a lot. So I write everything down on my whiteboard so I can forget about it. And well, for me, it's daily, but you can do weekly, whatever suits you. You know, I try to work daily as far as I can. So I'll walk into my office and I can have a completely blank mind. I have no clue what I'm going to do right there and then because brain fog. And I'll just read the messages I left for myself. And that fills up my day. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, I still have to do this. And I write dates next to it because I will forget when I wrote it down or by when it needs to get done. So I'll just quickly write the date, either the date that I wrote it down or the date by which the deadline will be there. So I can see. Also passwords. I work online a lot. I have literally hundreds of passwords. I will not remember them. There's no way I can write them all down. So I have this program that's called LastPass. Even for people that don't have hundreds, but just the normal amount of passwords, LastPass, it saves you so much energy that you don't have to think about your login information for every tiny little thing, even if it's your email or your payment system or whatever it might be. You just have to remember your core password, and there's like this vault inside with all the websites and your login info and your passwords. So LastPass, it's called, with double S in the end. So those are my biggest things, and rest in between. I'm very bad at doing that, but I should really, like today, I knew Spoonie Space was coming. It's 9:30 p.m. for me right now, so it's end of the day. So I took a nap. I was asleep from 4 to 6. I wanted to do a million things. I put my daughter in front of the TV, and I just went to sleep because I know I have to. I'm still exhausted, but it did help a little bit. So that's my list, basically. Who else has a list they would want to share? Kate, do you have any to share?
I'd like to share if I could.
Yeah, Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah, most of my hacks deals with a spoonie, taking care of a spoonie. My mother is a temporary spoonie right now. She's getting ready to have her knee replaced, and a lot of things that I've had to do in the past year to help out with taking care of her is I use a program called MediSafe, MEDISAFE. It's for my phone. And it's a pill reminder to make sure she gets her meds on time and to make sure I get my meds on time. And it is really easy, user-friendly. When the alarm goes off, it sounds like you're shaking a big bottle of pills. So it's also very humorous. But since I've been listening to it for the last 6 months, it's also getting annoying. But it definitely helps out. One thing that helped me out personally about 5 years ago, I found a scooter at a like a thrift store, but it was in a retirement community. So apparently one of the residents couldn't use it anymore, so they wanted to sell it, and they donated it to the little thrift store within the community. And I got it like for one-tenth of what it would have cost me to get it brand new. And it actually comes apart into 4 pieces, and the largest part weighs 28 pounds. So it's very easy for me to put in and out of my trunk of my car. So that has helped out tremendously as well. I always keep a pair of walking sticks in my car in case I need them. And when I'm having a bad day, I use I call them go-go carts, when I go to the grocery store or when I go to the department store and things like that. I've been fortunate enough that for the past 6 months, and my mom's been able to have another care associate helping around the house to take care of things that I personally cannot take care of. Unfortunately, things have gotten a little more of a struggle for me, but I'm learning each day to just breathe deep. I have a couple saying mantras that I use. One is accept and adapt, and the other one is it is what it is, just move it on forward. So that's about what I have for now. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know.
Thank you, Kathy. That was great. I'm really glad you brought up about using the scooters at stores. I know that, at least for me, when I first became a Spoonie, I was very reluctant because at the time we lived in the same town that I was a ER nurse in, and so I just didn't want people to see me as weak. I saw it as weak, and I didn't want to appear weak, and I didn't want people to feel sorry for me, but I quickly learned that it is one of the best ways to save spoons when you're out and about, so I'm really glad you brought that up. Let's see, does anyone else have anything they want to add on things to do throughout your day that you use to help keep your spoons low or conserve spoons?
I'd like
Mark?
to chime in.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks, Elise.
I actually do things a little bit differently than what you guys are talking about. I know you guys are talking about like saving steps and everything, but I'm trying to get exercise and gain stamina, which is huge and hard to do. So I actually will clean in a little bit of a backwards way, even though I don't do stairs. I keep it on the same level, but I will go back and forth to the rooms. This way I can get my exercise in and I can clean at the same time, because otherwise it's not going to happen. And a big thing for me is I have a lot of things on both floors because stairs and I just don't get along very well. And like anything that are my hobbies, like I love to color and stuff, I have a bag and it just goes up and down depending on, when I am home. I'm not home that much. But like at night, depending on if I'm going to crash in my green chair or upstairs, I just know as long as I have that bag with me, I got all my coloring stuff or the book that I'm reading. So this way I have something to do and I'm not, going up and down the stairs. Because once I go up, I'm pretty much done for the night.
That's awesome. Thank you. I'm really glad actually that you brought up the exercise thing, because that is still very important as a Spoonie to get whatever exercise in that you can. I like to, on the days that I know I'm going to do something a little more physical, like yesterday I went swimming, so I knew I was going to go in the afternoon, so I made sure to rest right up until it was time to go. I didn't do any of my chores. I didn't do anything that would use up too much of my energy, and then I wouldn't be able to get my exercise in the pool. So I will always conserve my spoons that way by making or having rest periods in between the walking or exercising that way.
I always make sure to only do it after work. Also, because this way, like, I don't want to go work out and then have to go to work where I'm a caregiver totally exhausted. This way, if work was rough that day, I don't go. I don't have a gym membership, but I'll walk a lot. I won't, go for a walk after work. But if work was nice and I'm feeling okay, then I will. I don't force it. I know a lot of physical therapists told me, oh, you had to make a schedule and stick to it. But in all reality, how much of a schedule can we really stick to? Our bodies change so much day by day.
Yeah, that's the tough part about being a Spoonie. You can't ever quite predict what your body's going to do. So all you can do is give it your very, very best and try to rest when you can and save those spoons whenever you can. Let's see. Mark, what do you have on saving spoons throughout the day?
I wanted to touch a slight bit on exercise a little bit. I think a lot of Spoonies can benefit from a pedometer. And I'm not saying you need one just to get, 10 miles, 20 miles, whatever. I'm not doing that, But it helps with a consistency. And so if 5,000 steps is where you're going to start hurting, aim for 3. And so that way you can kind of plan your exercise a little bit better. And once you get used to how to use a pedometer and its app or its counter or whatever, you can kind of get used to your body. Again, listen to your body and don't over push it. But if you're trying to lose weight or manage that exercise or whatever, with being a Spoonie, it helps out a lot. That's a little bit of an assistive tech. Mine also helps with sleep too. Tracks my sleep schedule, which allows me to kind of twerk that as well, so that way you can keep a good circadian rhythm, because go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, you start out with more spoons. If you can do it, your bodies adjust and don't always agree with you, and you have a sleepless night or something and low spoons, but consistency helps with spoon counts. Back to you, Lois.
Absolutely, I agree. That really is important. And, you know, we hear that from doctors, and we don't always want to hear that. We want them to say, oh, no, you do this. You know, here's a pill, and you'll magically go to sleep forever, and you'll be fine. But it really is important to kind of keep yourself on some kind of a schedule, which can be hard when you're a spoonie that doesn't work. I don't work. Mark doesn't work. And sometimes you can kind of get a little lazy in it, but if you can keep yourself on a schedule, that does help with your spoons, especially helps in prepping you for knowing when you need to save those spoons, like having to go to the grocery store, or having to go to the doctor's office, or the dreaded pharmacy. We all know how long those waits can be, so it's important to rest up and prepare for those times that you need to. That's why Natalie has the whiteboards, and I do Post-its, or I tape big notes. Like if I'm sure I'm going to forget something, I'll put it in, you know, notebook paper size, big handwriting, marker handwriting on my front door, or on my bedroom door, wherever it might be that I might not forget it. So whatever it is you have to do to help yourself to save spoons, make sure you do it. Dina, do you have anything to add? Kate?
Yes, my dear. You had brought up the pharmacy and the hospital. Well, or the doctor's office. Well, what I do is I have a folder. It has all of my medical information and all of my notes on funky for the doctor's office, and all of my multiple specialists. So I'm in order. I don't feel as nervous, as rushed. You know, we all forget stuff when we're there, so might as well write it down when I'm thinking of it. And yeah, that's what I do there to save my spoons. Back to you, Lois.
Dina, did you have anything you wanted to add? Okay. Elise?
I don't think so. I think everything's covered. The one thing I was gonna say with the pedometer is I have it on my app on a phone. It came with my phone. I just bumped it from 5,000 to 6,000 steps a day and realized that's not a good match for me. So it'll be going back down to 5,000 steps. And mine's used really well to talk to my doctor. I was telling him, hey, I have no energy in the afternoon. And he was like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, look at my steps. And he's like, oh, you're sleeping every afternoon. I'm like, yes, as soon as I get home from work. That's all I was able to do. So it's just good to keep track and figure out what works for you. A lot of my stuff I probably have that are adaptations that I don't even know are adaptations. I was born with cerebral palsy, so a lot of my stuff, duct tape's my friend if I can't open anything. When silverware starts getting hard, silverware ends up being wrapped in duct tape or pool noodles or whatever.
Thank you. I never thought about duct tape. That's a good one to. Everybody can get some duct tape. I think you can get it at the dollar store even. So that's another.
Just always have it with you. You know, this way it doesn't matter where I am. If I need to adapt something, I can.
That's great. Thank you. I'm trying to think of what other handy tips and tricks there might be.
I can help you out with a little.
Awesome. Thank you, Kathy.
One thing that I used when I first got sick 30 years ago was a little spiral notebook called a health minder, and it was a daily recording of how you felt, what pills you took during the day, when you took a nap. You know, it had the little body, and you marked the X's on where you hurt and how bad you hurt. And that helped out tremendously in me qualifying for Social Security disability. I was able to show a consistent increase in problems and what medications worked, what medications didn't work. I have really bad memory issues, so I keep a document of all my medical history, and anytime I go see a new doctor, I print it off. It's about 12 pages long, but I always write on the form, see attached, see attached. I don't even bother trying to write it out on their forms. I just put see attached. And that has helped me out tremendously, especially now that I'm trying to establish new doctors in Pennsylvania. And that's, you know, having that history there also helps a lot when you try to go to qualify for disability.
Thank you, Kathy. That was a great one. That's actually something I think I'm going to do next time I have to go to the doctor, to a new one. Those forms can be so tedious, and especially the disability forms. Those are extremely tedious. So I highly recommend that if you have to go to the doctor anytime soon. Definitely, if you can, print out a history, and then you don't have to fill out those silly forms. Well, I think we've covered about everything today, so I think we will say goodbye. I want to say thank you very much for joining us today on Spoonie Space. Please go to our Facebook page and like us. We also have a Spoonies For Life page. Like us there. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. We appreciate it very much, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.